Alright, so I'll show my audio setup for my 2006 Lexus IS350. So essentially what I've done is behind this DVD portion of the head unit, this little bottom piece, there's a generic Toyota 6+6 connection. And essentially what's happening is stock, this head unit is connected to this little bottom piece with that 6+6 connection. So this CD changer here can be connected to the main head unit. Now, it's possible to purchase a Y cable, which essentially lets you connect this head unit, and you can also connect an additional unit. So what I've got is this little box, and that's also connected to this bottom CD changer. And what that does is it creates this new menu automatically called CD changer, and I believe you can still use this original CD changer, but I actually haven't tested it yet. But by default, one is set to the Bluetooth mode. And that unit I installed by having the cable go from the bottom of this down here under this gear shifter, and then I double side taped it in here underneath this little plastic piece. And that essentially emits a Bluetooth signal to my phone. So the way this works is now with the CD changer option and in number one, after I've paired my device, which is my iPhone, to the head unit, it will now play music from it. And I'm able to use the steering wheel controls as well, and I'm able to press this button to play and pause. So if I click play here, you can hear the audio is coming out. If I click this to turn audio off, we can see that it's paused now as well. I can click it again to play it. Sometimes it can be finicky at the very start, but there we go. And then I can use the steering wheel button to change the song. Alright, I'll turn it off again. And yeah, that's how the Bluetooth module works. I can provide a link to it in the description. There are various sellers on various platforms selling pretty similar units, but I'll link the one that I specifically purchased. And yeah, it's a pretty good unit. It's been rock solid so far, and I've used it for about a month. And it's very reliable at auto connecting when I get into the car and turn it on. And the play pause works quite reliably as well, same as the next track, previous track buttons, and yeah, it's overall a fantastic solution. The audio quality is also 256 kilobits per second AAC supported, so that means if you have an iPhone, the sound quality will be even better than, let's say, the 2012 and 2011 head units that came from factory with Bluetooth, because those would only be using standard Bluetooth codec, which doesn't pair as well with iPhone, since there's multiple re-encoding steps, which is where quality is lost. So that's another plus. It uses a CD changer port for maximum quality, so it will definitely sound way better than those FM transmitters and any other way you might be using to play audio. Now secondly, I originally did this whole thing because I couldn't get AUX to work, because when I click the AUX button, it won't ever switch to AUX. After doing some research online, I thought that it might be because I've got a faulty AUX port, and I purchased a new AUX port, and that didn't solve the issue either. So after that, I purchased a Bluetooth unit, and then I went digging a bit more, because when I opened this whole center console up, I noticed there was a lot of aftermarket wiring in there, and that really made me think, and I found out that I was provided this little remote by the previous seller, and he had no idea what it was for and had never used it, but turns out it's to control a TV system that was installed aftermarket in this car. And it seems like this is a common option for a lot of these Japanese imports, so it's quite common that someone else will find the same issue. And the reason I even came to this conclusion to begin with was because I found a shop in Christchurch that said they can convert your head unit to English. However, if you're using AUX through the TV option, then it will stop working. So that kind of made me think that might be what's happening with my system. So here I've got my AUX port and my AUX cable alongside my 3.5mm to lightning connector. So if I change to TV over here, it'll go into TV mode. And if I click switch input on this remote that I had to translate to English, I can switch it to regular TV mode. Okay, I have to first turn it on. Here we go, there's a whole TV mode that hijacks the head unit and puts a video feed through. And obviously none of this works in New Zealand because it's designed for the Japanese TV broadcasting network. But if I click switch source, it goes to this black screen. And then now I can connect my AUX cable to my phone. And now if I play my song, it plays. And this is not through Bluetooth, it's through the AUX. As we can see, it's detected as headphones on my phone. So yeah, that's essentially a guide to how to use AUX if your system's a Japanese one like mine and has had a lot of modifications, and how a potential Bluetooth system would ultimately be an even better option. Because for this AUX system, it means every time I get into the car, I need to click the on button on the TV remote, and that would just become annoying very quickly. So the Bluetooth solution is definitely a much better way to get into the modern ecosystem. And I prefer it to changing the head unit, because the Chinese head units from AliExpress, they've got variable quality, and the sound quality probably won't be good, especially since this is a marklevinson unit. And yeah, I'm quite happy with the performance of this system. One thing I would be wary of is changing it when the temperature is cold, because when it's hot, this foamy material is very soft and easy to damage, and I have slightly damaged mine, but it's definitely worth it for the upgrade of Bluetooth. Thanks for tuning in, and feel free to ask any questions in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them.